Your mind is a weapon. Right now, it's pointed at you. Overthinking is not intelligence. It's not being thorough. It's mental cowardice wearing a lab coat. You call it analysis. The Stoics called it slavery. Every second you spend replaying conversations, forecasting disasters that never come, and arguing with ghosts in your head, you are not living. You are negotiating with a terrorist, and the terrorist is you. Marcus Aurelius didn't have time to overthink. He was running an empire and a war. Epictetus was a slave. He didn't get to choose his circumstances. He only got to choose his mind. Seneca watched Rome burn in chaos. His answer was not more thought, it was better thought. The mind is a tool, not a master. But you've promoted it to CEO. You've given the intern the keys to the kingdom. Now it runs in circles, sending you 3 a.m. memos about everything that could go wrong. It calls this preparation. It's paralysis. You think if you think enough, you'll control the outcome. That's the lie. You don't control the outcome. You never did. You control your attention. You control your action. You control your next step. That's it. So here's the line in the sand. The door out of the prison you built. The storm doesn't stop. You just learn to stand above it. Your mind created the prison, but it also holds the key. That's the paradox that breaks most people. They try to kill the chaos with more chaos. More thinking, more analyzing, more what-if loops. You don't fight a storm by screaming at the wind. You climb higher than the clouds. Look at the marble Stoic you've seen. Last time he was in the waves, getting hit. Chest out, biceps tense, taking the blows. That was the trap. This is the shift. You are not the storm. You are not the waves. You are the rock they break against. Overthinking feels like responsibility. Like if you just think hard enough, you'll prevent disaster. But here's the truth. Seneca wrote 2,000 years ago. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Your brain is a survival machine running outdated software. It treats a text message with no reply the same way it treated a saber-toothed tiger. Same chemicals, same panic, same loop. So how do you take control? You don't. You take command. Control is white-knuckling. It's forcing thoughts to stop. That fails. Command is different. Command is what Marcus Aurelius did when Rome was burning and plague was killing his people. He wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The first move is separation. Your thoughts are not you. They are advisors. Some are cowards, some are liars, some are useful. But you are the general. When a thought says, "What if you fail?" a general doesn't panic. He asks, "Is this intel or is this fear?" Say it out loud. "I notice I'm having the thought that I'll fail." That one sentence creates distance. You're no longer in the thought, you're observing it. Overthinkers fight with questions. What if? Should I? What did they mean? Those are blunt weapons. Replace them with a blade. What is the next physical action? The mind can't spiral when the body moves. Anxious about the email? The next action is open laptop. Anxious about the gym? The next action is put on shoes. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." Action ends analysis. Your mind needs ritual, not freedom. Freedom is where overthinking breeds. Stoics use deliberate practice of worst-case scenarios, but not to panic, to prepare. Each morning, take 90 seconds. Ask, what will try to knock me off balance today? What is my response? You're not predicting the future. You're pre-deciding your character. When the moment comes, you don't think, you execute. The Stoic is no longer in the waves. He's on the summit. Same muscular build, same wide shoulders, same carved beard. But now the storm is below him. He looks down at the chaos he used to drown in. The clouds break around his feet. Light hits his chest. He's not fighting the storm anymore. He commands the high ground. That's what taking control looks like. It's not silence, it's sovereignty. The trap was believing you had to stop the waves. The truth is, you just had to stop standing in the water. Your mind is a weapon. Point it at the mission now. Tomorrow, when the first overthinking spiral hits, and it will, don't argue with it. Don't analyze it. Stand up. Take one physical action. That's command. That's the first inch of high ground. The storm will still come, but you won't live in it anymore. You'll lead from above it. You took the high ground. Now you defend it. Taking control was the first battle. Keeping control is the war. The mind you commanded yesterday will try to mutiny today. That is not failure. That is human. The storm doesn't stop because you stood on the mountain. It stops being your home. Your enemy is not your thoughts. Your enemy is the volume. Overthinking is addiction to noise. Every what if gives you a hit of fake control. Every mental replay gives you the illusion that you are solving the problem. You are not. You are rehearsing disaster. Seneca called this borrowing trouble. You pay interest on problems that never arrive. The interest comes out of your peace, your sleep, your work, your relationships. The noise has patterns. It attacks in three forms. First, the past. It replays conversations that ended years ago. It edits them. It gives you better lines you never said. It makes you guilty for choices you cannot change. The past is a ghost. You cannot fight a ghost. You can only stop inviting it to dinner. Second, the future. It shows you 10 versions of tomorrow, 9 of them disasters. It tells you preparation equals paranoia. But Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." The future is not here. Your breath is here. Your hands are here. Your next action is here. Third, other people. It makes you a mind reader without a license. They think I'm weak. They haven't texted back because I messed up. You build entire trials in your head where you are both defendant and judge. Epictetus said, "What upsets people is not things themselves, but their judgments about these things." You are not upset by their silence. You are upset by the story you told about their silence. So how do you silence the noise? You lower the volume until you can hear yourself again. The first tool is the body. Overthinking lives in the head. You cannot think your way out of a thinking problem. You move your way out. Stand up, walk, do 5 push-ups, wash a dish. The nervous system cannot sprint and spiral at the same time. Action is the off switch for anxiety. The second tool is paper. Your brain is a terrible office. It posts every memo on the wall at once. Take the memos down. Write the thought. Once it is on paper, it is no longer circling. Ask it one question. Is this useful or is this repetition? If it is useful, write the next physical step. If it is repetition, cross it out. You are the editor of your mind. The third tool is time. Give the noise a boundary. Overthinkers believe every thought deserves immediate attention. It does not. Set a 5-minute timer. Say you have 5 minutes to complain, predict, and panic. Go. When the timer ends, the meeting is over. Stand up. Return to your mission. The ruins are quiet because you made them quiet. The storm is still behind you, black and white, dramatic clouds, but your eyes are closed. One hand rests on your knee. The other holds a scroll, not a sword. The wind moves your drapery, but not you. You are not fighting the noise. You are not feeding it. You are present. Silence is not the absence of sound. Silence is the presence of command. You will never delete every thought. You are not a monk. You are a person with a mission. The goal is not a blank mind. The goal is a mind that serves you, not a mind you serve. Tomorrow the noise will return. It will tell you that peace is dangerous, that if you stop worrying, something will go wrong. That is a lie the noise tells to keep its job. Your job is to let the noise talk while you work. You climbed to the summit in Keynote 1. Now sit on it. Breathe. Listen. Then act. The noise gets quiet when you stop arguing with it and start outliving it. Analysis is a drug. The first hit feels like progress. The second hit feels like safety. By the 10th hit, you are paralyzed in a chair, perfectly informed, completely stuck. You took control in Keynote 1. You silenced the noise in Keynote 2. Now you face the final trap, the illusion that thinking is doing. It is not. Thinking is preparation for doing. Preparation without execution is procrastination wearing a suit. Your brain loves analysis, because analysis has no risk. You cannot fail a spreadsheet. You cannot be rejected by a plan. You cannot embarrass yourself in a hypothetical. So the mind builds elaborate cities of what if, and calls it work. It is not work. Work moves atoms. Work leaves fingerprints. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." The overthinker cannot tolerate that. He would rather be perfectly potential than publicly imperfect. So he researches the gym for 6 months instead of going for 6 minutes. He studies business for 2 years instead of selling one product. He rehearses conversations that never happen instead of having one that could change his life. The cure is not more discipline. Discipline is what you use after you start. The cure is to shrink the entry cost of action until it is smaller than the cost of thinking. The mind respects momentum, not intention. A body at rest stays at rest. A body in motion stays in motion. Your first action must be so small that your brain cannot argue with it. Not write the book. Write one sentence. Not fix my life. Wash one plate. Not become confident. Make eye contact with the cashier. The overthinker wants to leap the canyon. The warrior lays one brick. There is a law the ancient Stoics understood that modern productivity gurus repackage. Action creates clarity. You do not get clarity, then act. You act, then clarity arrives to meet you. Marcus Aurelius did not wait to understand leadership before he led. He led, and the understanding came from the bruises. The plan you make in your head will always be wrong. The plan you make after one real attempt will be useful. The noise you silenced in Keynote 2 will return the second you decide to move. It will tell you that you need more data, that you are not ready, that people will judge you. It is lying. You are ready when you start. Data without action is trivia. Judgment without risk is cowardice. The only people qualified to judge your effort are the ones in the arena with you, and they are too busy working to talk. There are 3 lies that keep you in analysis. First lie, I need to feel ready. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is motion despite fear. The Spartans did not feel ready. They trained until their hands moved before their minds could panic. Ready is a decision, not a feeling. Second lie, I need the perfect plan. Perfection is the highest form of procrastination. A perfect plan that never starts is inferior to a flawed plan that does. The world does not reward the best ideas. The world rewards the best execution of average ideas. Speed beats IQ when IQ is stuck. Third lie, what if I fail? You will. Failure is the tax you pay on growth. The Stoics practice negative visualization, not to become pessimists, but to remove the sting. If you are afraid of losing money, lose some on purpose in a small bet. If you are afraid of rejection, collect 10 rejections this week. Make failure a routine, not a monster. Then it cannot threaten you. The visual for this keynote is motion. The same marble Stoic, broad shoulders, muscular chest, carved curly hair and beard. But now he is not seated, he is mid-step. One foot descends from the cracked marble steps into open ground. The drapery pulls behind him. Dust rises from his heel. The ruined columns are now behind him. Ahead is open road, black and white, high contrast, light cutting across the path. His eyes are open, fixed forward. He holds no scroll. His hands are empty, ready. He is not thinking about the step. He is taking it. Action is the only antidote to anxiety. Anxiety is energy with no outlet. Give it an outlet. The mind was not designed to be a storage unit for problems. It was designed to be a weapon for solving them. Weapons do not work on the shelf. Your mission after this keynote is illegal to overcomplicate. Pick one thing you have been analyzing for more than 3 days. Today, you do the smallest possible version of it. If you want to start a channel, record 10 seconds. If you want to get strong, do 1 push-up. If you want to write, open the document and type 1 word. The size does not matter, the streak does. You will not think your way into a new life. You will act your way into a new way of thinking. Keynote 1 gave you the high ground. Keynote 2 gave you silence. Keynote 3 gives you the first step off the mountain. The world is not changed by people who understood it perfectly. The world is changed by people who moved while they were still uncertain. Analysis ends here. You climbed the mountain. You silenced the noise. You took the step. Now comes the part most people never reach. You own what happens next. Overthinkers have 2 settings. They either blame everything or they control nothing. Both are the same prison. Blaming the world keeps you powerless. Refusing to control what you can keeps you helpless. There is a third way. You take full responsibility for your side of the street, and you release everything else. The world is not fair. It never was. Storms hit good people. Plans collapse without warning. People betray you. Bodies break. Markets crash. If your peace depends on those things going your way, you will never have peace. But your peace was never meant to come from the outside. It comes from how you respond when the outside betrays you. The difference between a victim and a warrior is not what happened to them. It is what they did after. 2 people can lose the same job. One spends a year telling the story of why it was unfair. The other spends a week grieving, then spends the next year building something better. Same event, different outcome. The event did not choose the outcome. The response did. Your mind wants to negotiate with reality. It says, this should not have happened. That sentence is poison. Reality does not take feedback. Reality only takes action. The faster you replace should not with did, the faster you get your power back. I should not be tired keeps you tired. I am tired. What is the next move anyway? Gets you moving. There are 2 types of problems. Problems you can solve, and problems you can survive. Overthinkers mix them up. They try to survive the solvable, and they try to solve the unsurvivable. You do not solve death. You survive it, and you honor it. You do not survive a messy room. You solve it, and you clean it. Knowing the difference is freedom. When something goes wrong, your first question is not, who caused this? Your first question is, what is my part? Even if your part is 1%, you own that 1% completely. Because that 1% is the only part you can change. Blame is expensive. It costs you time, energy, and evolution. Ownership is cheap. It only costs you pride. And pride was the tax keeping you weak. The second practice is the boundary. You are responsible for your effort. You are not responsible for the result. You can prepare for the meeting. You cannot control if they listen. You can train for the race. You cannot control if it rains. You can love a person. You cannot control if they stay. Do your job with your whole chest, then open your hands. Attachment to results is how strong people become bitter. Detachment from results is how strong people stay free. The third practice is repair. You will mess up. You will drop the ball. You will say the wrong thing. You will take the wrong step. Ownership does not mean perfection. Ownership means you clean what you spill. You do not hide it. You do not defend it. You say, "That was me. Here is how I fix it." The fastest way to kill anxiety is to make amends. The weight you feel is not guilt. It is unpaid debt. Pay it. The visual for this keynote is the same figure. Broad shoulders, muscular chest, carved curly hair and beard. He no longer stands on steps. He no longer sits. He kneels in the open ground at the bottom of the ruins. His hands are not empty. One hand holds a chipped stone from the fallen temple. The other hand presses that stone into new ground, building. The storm has passed. The sky is still black and white, high contrast, but the clouds are breaking. Light hits his back. His head is down, focused on the work. He is not looking at the sky for permission. He is not looking at the ruins for pity. He is laying the first brick of what comes next. This is what ownership looks like. It is not shouting. It is not posting. It is not explaining. It is quiet, physical, repetitive work in the direction of the life you said you wanted. You do not get to choose what breaks. You do get to choose what you build from the pieces. Tomorrow, something will not go your way. A plan will fail. A person will disappoint you. Your body will feel heavy. When that happens, you have two moves. You can rehearse why it is unfair. Or you can ask, given that this happened, what is the next inch I can move? One of those keeps you in the story. The other one writes a new one. You are not here to control the world. You are here to control your part of it so completely that the world has to respond. Own the step. Own the fall. Own the rebuild. That is how the mountain becomes yours. You are not here to react to life. You are here to become unmovable inside it. The world trains you to chase. Chase approval. Chase certainty. Chase safety. Chase a version of yourself that finally feels ready. Chasing is exhausting because the finish line moves every time you get close. The alternative is not laziness. The alternative is wait. Wait is what keeps a mountain in place while seasons change around it. Rain comes, snow comes, fire comes, wind strips the trees. The mountain does not argue with the weather. It does not check the forecast. It stands. That is your job. Most people live like paper in the wind. One comment flips their mood. One delay ruins their week. One failure rewrites their identity. They are not weak. They are untethered. They tied their self-worth to outcomes, and outcomes are owned by chaos. You untie it. You drive the anchor deep into character. Character is what you do when no one is clapping. It is how you speak to yourself when you drop the ball. It is whether you keep your word to yourself after the excitement dies. Motivation is a spark. Character is the stone that holds heat long after the spark is gone. The first practice is daily non-negotiables. You pick 3 actions that define you, and you do them even when you do not feel like it, especially when you do not feel like it. Make your bed, move your body, do the hard thing first. These are not productivity hacks, they are promises. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you add weight. Every time you break one, you leak weight. The mountain is built one promise at a time. The second practice is stillness under pressure. When something hits you, pause. Breathe once before you speak. Breathe twice before you decide. The first reaction is usually fear, ego, or old pain. It is loud, but it is not wise. The wise move lives 1 second behind the loud one. That second is the difference between regret and respect. The third practice is subtraction. A mountain does not grow by adding more. It grows by refusing to erode. You do not need more information. You need fewer distractions. You do not need more friends. You need deeper ones. You do not need more goals. You need one you will not abandon. Cut the noise. Cut the excuses. Cut the version of you that explains why you cannot. The person you want to become already exists. You just need to stop arguing with him. People will test your weight. They will poke. They will doubt. They will project their fear onto your path. Let them. A mountain does not chase clouds to prove it is solid. It lets the clouds pass and stays. Your job is not to convince anyone. Your job is to become so consistent that your life becomes the argument. You will have days when you feel like paper again, when the old anxiety comes back, when the body feels heavy and the mind feels loud. That is not failure. That is weather. You do not rebuild the mountain every time it rains. You stand, you breathe, you return to the non-negotiables. The weight returns because weight is a practice, not a personality. This is the end of overthinking, not because thoughts stop, because you stop outsourcing your stability to them. You are no longer trying to control the mind. You are the mind that cannot be shaken. You do not rise to the occasion. You fall to the level of your training. So train in stillness. Train in keeping promises. Train in subtraction. Train until your default state is weight. The goal was never to feel good all the time. The goal was to become someone who can carry hard things without becoming hard. Someone who can hold pain without becoming it. Someone who can face chaos without becoming it. Stop asking for lighter loads. Become a stronger carrier. The mountain does not fear the storm. The mountain is what the storm breaks against. Now be that. You think the goal is to silence the voice in your head. It is not. The goal is to outlast it. That voice has been with you since you were young. It learned your fears before you did. It knows every mistake you made. It knows every time you quit. It uses your memory against you. It whispers when you are tired. It shouts when you are close. It tells you to stop, to hide, to wait, to doubt. It is not evil. It is not wise. It is just loud. And loud things sound like truth when you are weak. Most people try to kill the voice. They argue with it. They reason with it. They beg it to be quiet. That is why they lose. You do not win a fight by entering the ring with something that lives inside your skull. You win by walking out of the ring and doing the work anyway. The voice is not you. You are the one who hears it. There is a difference. The voice says you are not ready. You hear it and train anyway. The voice says they will judge you. You hear it and speak anyway. The voice says you will fail. You hear it and build anyway. Every time you act while the voice is still talking, you teach your nervous system who is in charge. The voice runs on one fuel, attention. Every time you explain yourself to it, you feed it. Every time you check if it is gone, you feed it. Every time you wait to feel brave before you move, you feed it. Starve it. Do not answer. Do not negotiate. Do not defend. Let it talk. Let it scream. Move while it is mid-sentence. There are 3 ways the voice attacks. Learn them so you stop falling for them. First, it predicts. It gives you the future in advance, and the future it gives you is always failure. You will be rejected. You will look stupid. You will not be enough. It is a coward with a microphone. It cannot see the future. It can only repeat the past. Do not take predictions from something that has never been where you are going. Second, it compares. It shows you people who are ahead. It shows you people who are behind. It shows you versions of you that do not exist. Comparison is the voice trying to move the goalpost so you never shoot. Your race is not with them. Your race is with the person you were yesterday. Beat him. That is enough. Third, it delays. It says wait until Monday. Wait until you are confident. Wait until the plan is perfect. Wait until the fear passes. The voice loves the word later, because later is where dreams go to die. Later is not a time. Later is a graveyard. Bury the voice there, not your ambition. You outlast it with repetition. Courage is not the absence of the voice. Courage is action, with the voice still in your ear. The first rep is heavy, the 10th rep is heavy, the 100th rep is still heavy, but on the 100th rep, the voice is tired. You are not. That is how you win. You do not get stronger than fear. You get more tired of listening to it than it is of talking. You outlast it with evidence. The voice says you always quit, so you finish one thing today. The voice says you are not disciplined, so you keep one promise to yourself today. The voice says you are weak, so you do one hard thing today. You are not trying to prove it wrong. You are giving your body proof it is wrong. The body believes proof. The mind believes repetition. Give them both. You outlast it with identity. Stop calling yourself an overthinker. Stop calling yourself anxious. Stop calling yourself broken. Those are not names. Those are cages. The voice loves when you introduce yourself by your wound. Call yourself by your work. I am the one who trains. I am the one who shows up. I am the one who finishes. Say it until the voice starts using your words. One day you will wake up and realize the voice is still there, but it is background noise, like a fan in a room, like traffic outside. You hear it, but you do not obey it. That is freedom, not the absence of doubt, the presence of motion despite it. The work is not to become fearless. The work is to become faithful. Faithful to the promise you made when the voice was quiet. Faithful to the person you said you would become when the lights were on. Faithful to the next step when every part of you wants to stop. You do not need the voice to agree. You do not need the voice to leave. You need to outlast it. So let it talk. You will die. Everyone you know will die. The sun will die. None of this is remembered in 1,000 years. That is not depressing. That is permission. Because once you accept that the clock runs out, you stop living like you have time to waste. You stop waiting to feel ready. You stop asking for permission. You stop negotiating with comfort. You realize every day you are not building is a day you are burying something that could have lived. Most people die full of ideas they never shipped, full of books they never wrote, full of apologies they never gave, full of love they never showed, full of potential that rotted inside them because they were too busy being careful. They save it all for someday. Someday is a lie the living tell to make death feel far away. Die empty. That means you pour it out, all of it, every ounce of strength, skill, creativity, and courage you have. You hold nothing back for the grave. The grave does not need your talent. The world does. You do not die empty by doing everything. You die empty by doing the right things. The things only you can do. The things that keep you awake at night. The things that scare you because they matter. The things you would regret not attempting on your deathbed. Here is how you know what those are. Ask yourself what you would do if you found out you had 1 year left. Not 10. 1. You would call the person. You would start the thing. You would say the truth. You would stop pretending you do not know your purpose. You know. You have always known. You are just scared of the cost. The cost is real. To die empty, you have to live misunderstood. People will call you obsessed. They will say you changed. They will say you are selfish. That is because empty people resent anyone who pours. Pour if you want to be free. The first rule of dying empty: give before you are ready. There is no perfect time to begin. There is no version of you that feels completely prepared. If you wait for confidence, you will wait forever. Confidence is not a prerequisite. Confidence is a byproduct. You get it after you act, not before. Ship the work, say the thing, start the set. The world rewards finishers, not planners. The second rule: subtract before you add. You cannot pour from a cup that is full of trash. Delete the commitments that drain you. Cancel the meetings that go nowhere. End the relationships that require you to shrink. Burn the identity that keeps you small. Space is not found, space is made. Cut until your life bleeds purpose. The third rule: measure in output, not input. You do not get credit for intentions. You do not get credit for hours. You do not get credit for how hard it felt. You get credit for what you delivered. What did you make? What did you ship? What did you leave behind that did not exist before you? That is the only scoreboard that matters at the end. The voice will tell you to conserve. Save your energy. Save your best ideas. Save your strength for later. The voice is lying. There is no later, there is only now, and now is always running out. You do not conserve your way to a legacy. You spend your way there. You spend attention, you spend effort, you spend courage. You will be tired. Good. Tired means you used something. Empty means you used everything. The goal is to collapse into bed each night with nothing left. No words unsaid. No reps skipped. No love withheld. Empty is the only kind of rich that matters when you die. You think you need more time. You do not. You need more urgency. You have enough hours. You are just spending them on things that will not matter when your heart stops. Scrolling, doubting, waiting, pretending. Look at your hands. They are not infinite. They will not always open and close. They will not always lift. They will not always build. One day they will stop, and whatever they were holding in that moment is what you leave. So open them now. Pour it out. Teach what you know. Build what you see. Say what you believe. Lift what you can. Hold who you love. Do not go to the grave with your work still in you. Do not go to the grave with your words still in you. Do not go to the grave with your life still in you. The world does not need another full cemetery. It needs one more person who refused to die with anything left. Be that person.